Today we'll discuss what is inner product space and Bessel's inequality statement. Now, what is the meaning of? First of all, we'll discuss what is a definition inner product means. Now, after that, we'll go to Bessel's inequality. Now, what is the meaning of inner product space means? Now, what is the definition here? Now, inner product's definition: V of F is a vector space. F is a field. It may be field of real numbers or complex numbers. Now, the vector space V of F is said to be an inner product space if V of F satisfies the following property. What is the first property now? Conjugate symmetry. That means the meaning is the inner product of alpha beta and beta alpha conjugate inner product now. The conjugate of beta alpha in the product value. Both should be same now. Okay. And the next now, alpha beta inner product should be greater than 0 for alpha not equal to 0. That means when the value alpha is non-zero vector, the result value, the inner product should be always positive. The third one now, distributive law, it is now A alpha plus B beta, it is some value now, comma, gamma, okay. The inner product of these two vectors is nothing but now, the inner product of these two values is nothing but now A and alpha gamma inner product B and beta gamma inner product now. Okay. Now, next down here, where alpha, beta, gamma are scalars, and next now, what it is now, A, B are scalars now. Okay, it is nothing but now distributive acts now. And next now we have Euclidean space means now. Just a minute. Euclidean space. What is the meaning of Euclidean space now? Now Euclidean space means is nothing but now inner product definition is second definition. It is also an inner product now. Okay, a function from V cross V to F. A function from V cross V to F. It is an inner product. Okay, and if the field is real field, that means it is a field of real numbers, then the inner product is called Euclidean inner product. Okay, it is called as Euclidean inner product. And what is the second definition? The same, F is an inner product. And next now, F, okay, is a field of complex numbers. In that case, it is called unitary space. And here now, the Euclidean space is also called as real inner product space. And here it is called now, when field is complex numbers, then it is called complex inner product now. Both are possibles now. And we have one definition here now, a small definition now. Now, what is the definition? What is the note now? V of F is an inner product space. Alpha, beta are any two scalars. A is a scale, sorry, alpha, beta are vectors, and A is a scalar. The inner product of alpha and A beta is equal to A bar into alpha beta. Okay, the inner product of alpha beta. Okay, now we'll discuss now next property. Okay, now it is now when the real number is in the second position, when you are taking outside. Okay, right? Just a minute now. when the scalar value is in the second position, you are taking outside here now. Therefore, just you take conjugate value. That means now, for example, if you take a complex number 2 plus I, the conjugate value is nothing but ND. It is equal to 2 minus I. It is now. Okay? In the same manner now. Next now, I'll take next slide now. In the next slide, we have orthogonal vectors now. Okay? Now, what is the meaning now? Orthogonal, just a minute. Now, orthogonal vectors. Just a minute. Orthogonal vectors now. Just a minute. Orthonormal vectors. First, we'll discuss. Just no. Orthogonal vector should be first. This one should be first. No. No. Ah, just a minute. Oh, orthogonal vectors. Orthogonal vectors. Sorry for disturbance. V of f is an inner product space. Okay. Alpha, beta are any two scalar vectors. If inner product of alpha, beta is 0, then we can say alpha is orthogonal to beta. Okay. Then we can say alpha is orthogonal to beta. Now I am taking one example now. Alpha equal to 1 comma minus 2, beta equal to 2 comma 1 now. The inner product of these two vectors, just like A dot B in vectors, just like A dot B now. Now, I and J coefficients now. I minus 2J and 2I plus J like that now. And we know that I dot I is 1. In the same manner now, 2 into 1 and minus 2 into 1 now. Therefore, the result value is 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, alpha, we can say the inner product value equal to 0. Therefore, we can say alpha is orthogonal to beta. Alpha is orthogonal to beta. Okay, and here we have one important point now. The 0 vector is orthogonal to every vector in the inner product space now, because the inner product with 0 vector is always 0 now. Therefore, we can say the 0 vector is orthogonal to each vector in the inner product space now. And after that now, the second definition it is now. Orthogonal. Okay. What it is now? Orthogonal set of vectors now. It is only it is a definition for only one vector now. Alpha, it is definition for alpha and beta only. Now it is a set definition now. What is a set definition? S is a non-empty subset of an inner product space. S is a subset of non-empty subset of. That means S contains at least one element. After that now, if S is said to be orthogonal set, that means every pair of distinct vectors should be orthogonal. Okay, if you take any two vectors from S, they should be orthogonal. Then only we can say the set as orthogonal set of vectors. Okay, clear? Okay, now next slide. Okay. Now orthonormal. Now what is the difference between orthogonal and orthonormal? Just the inner product is 0 here. Observe here. Only inner product equal to 0. Okay. That means the vectors are orthogonal vectors. Okay. Now in this case now, in the orthonormal vectors, what is the definition now? Now alpha beta are any two vectors. Okay, and the next what is the condition now? uh, the inner product, I'm sorry, these colons are not here now. Actually, the inner product of alpha beta, the inner product of alpha and beta only should be equal to 0, and the magnitude of vector should be 1. Okay, inner product should be 0, inner product should be 0, and magnitude of the vector, that means norm alpha should be equal to 1. Okay, the magnitude should be equal to 1. Then we can say alpha is orthonormal to beta. Alpha is orthonormal to beta. Okay, now I am taking one example here. Now alpha equal to 1 comma 0, beta equal to 0 minus 1 are any two vectors of V of f. Okay, now the inner product value is definitely 0. 1 into 0 0, and 0 into minus 1 is also 0. Okay, okay, that means alpha beta are orthogonal. And next now I am taking magnitude now. Norm, I am calculating norm, vector length. Norm is nothing but now vector length now. Okay, what is the magnitude now? Now the magnitude of this vector norm alpha is nothing but now root of x square plus y square formula. Okay, if alpha is xi plus yj plus zk, then norm alpha equal to root of x square plus y square plus z square. In the same manner, the root of 1 square plus 0 is nothing but now 1 now, and the norm beta value is also 1 now. Now, therefore, these two vectors in this example, alpha and beta, are both are satisfying the first property. They are orthogonal, and the magnitude also equal to 1 now. Now, therefore, we can say this alpha and beta both are orthonormal vectors. Orthonormal vectors now. Okay, now. Next, now I am taking orthonormal set of vectors. Orthonormal set of vectors now. What is here now? S is a non-empty subset of an inner product space. Okay, it is a non-empty subset of an inner product space. The set is said to be orthonormal set. In that case, the every vector magnitude should be 1. That means norm alpha I equal to 1, and inner product of alpha I alpha j equal to 0. The inner product of alpha I alpha j equal to 0, where I is not equal to j. That means now if both are equal, then the magnitude is 1. Okay, it is norm value becomes 1. If they are not equal, then in that case, the value should be equal to inner product should be equal to 0. Next one. Okay, clear? Now, it is orthonormal vectors, and it is the orthonormal set of vectors. Now, I am checking one important condition. It is now, this condition is very important for the proof now. Just a minute. Now, it is one important condition now for this theorem now. Now observe what is a given condition. Alpha, beta, sorry, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n are n orthonormal vectors. Okay, it is an orthonormal set in the inner product space. In inner product space, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n is a orthonormal set. In that case, in V, there exists some vector beta such that gamma is a linear combination of these vectors. Okay. Now observe the condition now. What it is now? Gamma equal to beta minus beta alpha 1 inner product value into alpha 1. Okay. And beta alpha 2 into alpha 2. It is nothing but now this total value is nothing but now linear combination of alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n now. And it is also denoted by beta minus summation I equal to 1 to n beta alpha I inner product value into alpha I. This vector gamma vector is orthogonal to alpha 1, alpha 2 each and every vector. Okay. Now we are using this property in Bessel's inequality. That's why we are taking all the definition. What is inner product space means, what is orthogonal set means, and what is orthonormal set means. Now, okay. Now the second condition. Now theorem. Now what is Bessel's inequality? Okay, it is known as Bessel's theorem also. Here S equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n is an orthonormal set of an inner product space. Okay, this orthonormal set of an inner product space. Beta is any one vector. Okay, beta is any vector in V. In that case, summation I raised from 1 to n, the norm of mod of beta alpha I whole square is always less than equal to norm beta square. Okay, okay, it is a one condition now when inequality. If equality holds, that means when it is same, in that condition, beta is a subspace generated by this alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. The beta is generated by alphas. Or otherwise, we have one more condition also. Alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n is nothing but now base of V. Okay, these two properties now we will discuss now. Now first now, S equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n is an orthonormal subset of an inner product space. That means now the set contains all orthonormal vectors. That means the magnitude of individual vector equal to 0. Okay, the inner product of vector alpha I alpha j when I not equal to j equal to 0. Okay, that means inner product with other vector is 0. Okay, it is a case now. Now as per the definition, previous definition, here we have definition now. Here the definition, as per the definition, we are taking now gamma equal to, gamma is a vector in the inner product space such that beta minus beta alpha 1 into alpha 1, it is nothing but inner product value. It is now. That means inner product value is always a scalar value now, not a vector value, scalar value now. We know that the vector's dot product value A dot B is a scalar value, not vector value now. Now beta alpha 2 into alpha 2, that means a scalar multiplication here also, and it is also a scalar multiplication now. Now, and it is also equal to gamma equal to beta minus summation I equal to 1 to n beta alpha I gamma alpha I. Okay, it is a gamma vector nature now. Okay, now I am taking norm of this vector. Okay, norm gamma square is nothing but now inner product of gamma, and we know that what is gamma means. Gamma is nothing but now beta minus the linear combinations. Okay, summation I equal to 1 to n beta alpha I comma summation beta minus summation j equal to 1 to n beta alpha j. We are taking two different values, not same values. Now keep observation. Now the following steps are very important now. Now I am taking expansion of this inner product now. Okay. Now first I am taking, here I am applying distributive law. Beta, the inner product of beta comma beta. Next now beta, next this value, complete value. Here we have beta comma summation j equal to 1 to n beta alpha j. Next now again distributive law, this vector, okay, into beta. Now summation I equal to 1 to n beta alpha I comma beta. Next now this vector, okay, and again this one now, that is summation I equal to 1 to n beta alpha I comma summation j equal to 1 to n beta alpha j. Now observe here now the case, always this value is nothing but a number, real value. Okay, when it is second position, when it is in second position, when you are taking the scalar value outside, just you take conjugate property, conjugate value. Okay, next one more time mali cheptanu. Now it is the scalar value, when scalar value is in the second position, when you are taking outside the scalar value outside, as per the definition, write conjugate value. We have scalar in second position here and here also, this case. Okay, now beta it is okay, and the next now the scalar outside beta alpha j, this beta and alpha j, and here the scalar value is in, just a minute. Now this scalar value is in first position. Okay, now therefore we are checking outside without any conjugate value. And here also the value scalar value is in first position. We are checking without any conjugate here now. Clear? Now next step now. Here it is now. Now we are taking, we have here two summations now. The summation is from 1 to I equal to 1 to n, j equal to 1 to n. Here we have alpha I, alpha j. We know that this alpha I and alpha j both are orthonormal vectors. That means when I not equal to j, I not equal to j, the value is, product value is 0. Okay, otherwise it is equal to 1 now. Now I am checking similar type of steps now. Now, okay, first I am taking summation outside. Okay, now as per the definition, okay, there is no change, remaining part is same now. Orthonormal vectors, therefore the norm value is 1 when it is happens when I equal to j, otherwise it is 0 when it is happens when I not equal to j now. Now therefore I am removing this j value now. Look here now. I am just taking only I value now. Everywhere now. Now here two summation. Instead of two summations I am taking only one summation because I am taking this complete I j values now in the expansion now. Each and every value cancel now. And one more point, it is equal to 1 here now. Actually now. Now that's why I'm not taking now. The remaining values when I not equal to j, the values are zeros now. Okay. Next now. The next step now. I think it is clear now. Okay. Beta beta and inner product of beta alpha I. Okay. It is a conjugate value. Beta alpha I conjugate value and same now. Now these two values are same. Now therefore we can cancel the values now. And next, and just a minute now. Now here the inner product of betas, it is nothing but now norm now. And here we have the same values product value. Okay. In complex numbers we have one condition, z into z bar is always equal to mod z square. Okay, just I am using the property here now. Now therefore norm beta square in minus summation I equal to 1 to j mod beta alpha I whole square it is now. Clear? Next now. Whole square. Now the final value of this gamma, okay, this gamma value, final value. And we know that when gamma is greater than equal to 0, definitely when it is positive, definitely norm is also positive. That means the gamma value is greater than equal to 0. Therefore, we can say norm beta whole square greater than equal to summation I equal to 1 to n mod gamma alpha I whole square. And we are changing the inequality now. We know that a greater than b means b less than a, like that now it is now. After that now, when inequality is holds, that is norm gamma whole square equal to 0. In that case, gamma the inner product equal to 0. That means gamma equal to 0. Okay, that means what is a gamma means? It is nothing but now beta minus beta alpha 1 into alpha 1, beta alpha 2 into alpha 2, and etc. Now therefore we can write beta equal to complete value. Okay, it should be positive, I'm sorry, it is positive, not negative now. Positive now. Therefore it is nothing but now beta is nothing but now linear combination of all these alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha n. Now therefore beta is a vector. Okay, it is spanned by the set, that is alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. Therefore it is nothing but now base set. It is nothing but now base set of V. Okay, I think it is clear now. Now beta is a linear combination of all these alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. Therefore beta is a vector in the subspace spanned by the set. Therefore the set is nothing but now base set. Okay, I think it is clear now. Now thanks for watching my video.